Welcome to the very first episode of the I Can Do That Unscripted podcast. And I'm joined today with Jarusha and Shayna, the founders of ICDT.
Hi.
We should get a studio audience piped in.
Oh my gosh.
We should get like 7 or 8 people here to just kind of like clap and have fun.
We'll
so
do it.
This is really funny because the first question is like, well, how long have you been with ICDT? Which is, feel free to like make up an answer even, but we kind of already know the deal.
Yeah. You want to talk
At
about
the very beginning, I mean, so we, it was a conversation on a couch. And so we were like, we're just trying to figure this out together. We didn't really have anything specific. Obviously, things fell into place over the next months, and we were setting up, our website and printing flyers to post around to get kids to come audition. When we did our first show over the first summer, there weren't really well, defined roles. I think it was understood that I would choreograph.
Yeah, for sure.
Great,
but
so
we were both we were both in the rehearsal room leading, figuring it out kind of as we went. We both chose all of the music together and helped teach the harmonies. We made
record harmonies
recordings, each of us learning the low and the high or whatever. I think you did the low part probably.
Wow.
So it was very much like a shared thing. But early on, Shayna definitely kind of her mind went a little bit more in the business side. She would be thinking about all of that stuff, and I definitely kind of went a little bit more.
Well, and it was timing too, because she was working, you were a preschool teacher at the time, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had more time, or I was taking more time in order to be working on it, and it was fun. You didn't have that, kind of time. I think in the beginning the idea was let's play with it and see what it is. But then interests start.
Yeah, it really sounds like a if you build it they will come kind of situation.
Truly.
And it's truly how many different things can we build at one time to get all of them to come?
And figure them all out from nothing. No idea how to make a website, how to take a credit card, none of those things.
Oh, yeah. And also evolving with that technology because we're at 10 years now, right? So this went from checks to I don't know if Square happened to you all or the advent of a Square system into whatever the 40 apps that you now use for different things.
Right, exactly.
Yes, that's so much to learn and adjust with.
Stay on top of.
Yeah. This is another fun introductory question because we're already jumping into some big interview things. So just for funsies, what is at the top of your to-do list right now? If you had to point blank, these are my top 3 things.
Okay. I'll go. So I'm working on our board report right now. So we're having a board meeting in early March. And so basically what I do is I talk about, the last few sessions and then the current session we're in, the session we're going into, making goals. And then because it's the beginning of a new year, I'm wrapping up all of 2025 and just kind of giving a report on how that went. And I'm really excited about it. It's been cool because I love looking at how much things have shifted and where we're wanting to go and what needs to be looked at to make that possible. So that's a big one. Another one is really taking that to the team. So we're going to be doing some dreaming exercises with the whole team really soon in an all-team meeting. Just thinking about where, if we could have everything we wanted in the world, what would we do with this company and led in certain directions? Because the way we've always done everything since the beginning is start with the big dream and then work it backwards. But why not shoot for the biggest dream? So that's another thing. So prepping for that. And then really it's just emails. I need a virtual assistant, or I need someone attached to me, but man, if I could figure that out.
Yeah, they really do flood in there. It's so interesting that it sounds like being the managing director also kind of primes you to be the institutional historian almost. Every year if you're doing a review, you get to see truly annually what that growth is.
Different. It's crazy.
Yeah, and
it's so cool.
Mappable.
It truly, everything. Employees, revenue, enrollment. I mean, it's the coolest. I love it. And the thing, not to get into this, I was terrible at math, hate math. And now with the company, because it's related to something that I love so much, it's around our students, it's around our growth as a company, then it's it's fun to figure out the numbers. Once it had meaning to me, you know, then it was like, oh, I can do math. Look at that. I just have to care.
Yeah, math with consequences.
Let's get that going.
Absolutely.
Right.
Top of your to-do list right now.
Mine is mostly drowsy chaperone related.
Yeah.
So I'm like, plan rehearsal this week, right? Like make sure I have choreography to teach, know the music that we're working on, get formations done. That's the main stuff, which could be multiple to-dos. Email/check Asana.
Oh my God.
That's a fun one.
That task list really just like pops up once a week and you're like, right. I should be, these are things I said I would do.
Sure.
Do you want to define what Asana is for people who might not
know?
Asana
is our task management system. So it's got thousands, millions perhaps, of tasks in it that are all assigned to various employees, and they're connected to each other, and you have to do this so that this one can happen, and dates are there, and they come up red all the time when they're passed, and so I have a long list of red dates, tasks.
Yeah, it sounds like your to-do list looks like mine, where it's like there's like a task, and then under that task is like several other tasks, and then those have like their own subtasks, and eventually it's just like send an email. I'm going to send an email to somebody at some point.
We're working on simplifying our Asana.
Yeah, but the idea and the hope is that like we don't want to depend on anyone, so that if they forget something, we can't forget the big things, but we should really be led through what everything needs to happen with the company. You know, so
everything has multiple steps that need to happen, and we do them over and over.
Right.
We are human, so sometimes they fly out of our brain.
Yeah. Well, and what I would like, as somebody who, full disclosure, I work for the company. I know, shocking. It's so interesting to be a part of like an artistic team that's like actively trying to take the hard guesswork out of like artistic processes, because we spend so much time being like, oh God, like that platform is 5 feet. Okay, so if that's 5 foot and all of my actors are between the 3 and 4 feet, then like lighting, and like you're taking all this guesswork out just simply by trying to streamline things, and it's like streamlining when people are good to communicate is like a big helpful part of working here.
Right.
That's just a compliment.
Well, thank you. Yeah. It's important, especially because like it's not a one-off. Like we're doing the same thing. We're doing, you know, if I talk about, you know, main stage junior kids classes, summer camps, main stage, right? Mm-hmm. So it can be systematized, and the whole point is like we want us to be able to work on things that really need our creativity instead of the things that just keep us busy and like, oh my gosh, I missed this thing. Yeah. You know, so it's like it's out of necessity, just needed. Yeah, because we hire creative. I'm not hiring. Yeah. But we have like creative people who work here. So like giving people the time to be creative. For their job is like. That's what a game changer. Exactly. You need the time for that. Amazing. Okay. We have some other little fun openers. This one was more of a this or that. I was going through like some this or that questions, and the one that like I actually think is the most interesting is golden age musicals or contemporary musicals. And I know that's like, it's hard because kids will watch this, and it's like, I know what my answer is, and I know it's different than the kids. Is there like the middle, like there's golden and contemporary, is there not like the... What's considered the middle though? Yeah. Because we're older. I took a musical theater class like, once. You know, I should know this answer. 60s to 90s. Okay. Yeah. 2000s. Yeah. Yeah, right? Because like in my head, I'm like golden age, like the first thing that pops into my head is like Music Man. Yeah, it was like Oklahoma. Yeah. But then like, then you get through to like the Fiddlers of the World and like all those like other things that happened in the 70s and 80s, and you're like, the Sondheim. Yeah. What a time. Stephen Schwartz, Well, and that's a positive because I feel like our kids are really... I had like a 5-minute conversation about Bernadette Peters 2 days ago. Amazing. And they walked me through her entire career, and I was like, I know that I know it, but I will let you sit here and tell me all about your love for Bernadette Peters. I had to show some Patti LuPone videos yesterday. Wait, which ones did you show? We watched through like a chunk of Evita, her I Dreamed a Dream, definitely Mama Rose, Gypsy. That Tony performance is magical. And a little clip of Ladies Who Lunch. Oh, wow. So like a whole retrospective, just trying to take them through, you know, just a little bit of her
from her younger years.
Right.
Yeah, because she is one of those people that like you can almost chart the decades of musical theater like
so
with.
True.
Yeah. Also, her book is incredible.
Okay.
I got it for Christmas and it's insane.
But should we answer it?
Yeah. So I'm so sorry.
I'm like I don't even know if I can.
You're in the middle range, and I'll take that.
I can't choose. I love some of the Golden Age, and West Side Story is like a fave of mine. So is that golden?
I would say so.
Like
it's golden.
Like
I would say so.
Yeah, we officially called it.
West Side Story, Gypsy.
Yeah, those definitely feel like beautiful classic stories.
That's the thing. That's the thing is like I feel the same. Like I'm kind of in that middle section, but obviously like I have my favorites and they're so a part of my childhood too. You know what I mean? And like in the company that we were growing up in, those were the ones that we mostly did. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're the more golden ones, if not fully. You know.
Well, it was until the 90s.
Right. Well, it's the 70s. Like I guess we did a song from Cats once, a couple times. But same, and then same. Like I love some great modern contemporary stuff and new things that are coming out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. This upcoming season has got some stuff that I'm like really pumped about. Speaking of things what was the last thing you saw that you like absolutely loved theatrically? I know. I know. And here's the good news, right? Like it could also be something that like happened here. Theater happens everywhere. Yeah. It's not just the touring shows.
Parade.
Oh my gosh.
Did I take yours?
No, we share it.
This was that like most recent revival that came around with like the raised platform stage.
Blown away.
Like tore me apart.
Michael Arden is that director. He's really that guy. He like he did that one. He did the Once on This Island revival.
Oh my gosh.
He was the Quasimodo in the Hunchback soundtrack. And like he's another one like when like you were talking about Patty. Michael Arden's another one where like during my theatrical journey I can be like, oh, he was in like Bear, a pop opera. I don't know if it's so moody. It's so teenage. It's so like, oh, I'm an angsty, no one understands. And it's like when you're 16 in a guy musical theater, you're like, that's it. That's what I want to be doing.
I love that.
So Parade, did you have one?
No, same. Parade like blew me away. It was one of those moments where I was like, I truly feel like I'm in a Broadway audience right now. It was so tight. Like everything about it was so clean, and I was just blown away by obviously the talent, but it just the show really was able to shine because of the talent, and the show itself is just so striking and beautiful and moving. And I definitely sat there and cried. Like, my husband and boys are like moving, and I'm just like wrecked in the front row, and I'm like, now I have to drive home. Like,
it's funny when that happens.
Amazing.
I saw John Proctor's The Villain on Broadway, and an usher had to check on me.
Oh,
it was like they had to make sure I was okay. Sometimes they get you. So we sort of alluded to this before. You were talking about like kind of those golden age musicals being the things that like got you started. Was there anything that like brought you to theater first? Like what was the inciting incident that like brought you to trying theater in the first place?
I don't think I had an incident.
That's good news.
Per se, but I know that we had records growing up, and I listened to Annie, Chorus Line, Fiddler. So the three that I really remember, not on a record. This is like when I was 4. This is like early on. I would just play those records on repeat and look at the pictures inside. West Side Story was there, and in the living room, and I would just dance around the living room, right?
With my arms up like this.
Yes, and sometimes like not.
We
had like French doors, so I had like the glass, reflection, and I just like that was what I did, like, or I would be in my room singing Tomorrow at the top of my lungs, and so my parents were like, okay, she needs to be, in some sort of theatrical something. I did gymnastics for a little bit. I did dance, and then at our dance studio is where they heard that Belasco, the company that we grew up in, was doing Annie. From the Lukaszewskis. And my mom was like, okay, she's got to do it. So that was really what, got me onto the stage, into theater.
How cool to see it like as like a piece of media versus like a thing like you experienced by yourself, and then to like jump into a process with other people. That's like such an affirming thing, especially for like young theater people.
How
like other
old
people
were
like this
you?
thing.
like, yeah, that was your first show, like, with Belasco?
That was my first musical. I was, of course, in, like, chorus, this in element, because I was 9 when I joined this theater company, so I was doing chorus at school, but everyone is at that point, because you're not, like, choosing electives in elementary school, right? But I really thrived and loved it, the little school plays at the end of the year, like, I would have, a solo or whatever. I would do, like, the talent shows at school. It was all just school-based things, and then I can't remember when I started dance. Well, I guess I did dance when I was younger. This is getting less interesting.
No, it's okay.
No, but that's same.
I was a dancer.
Yes.
And I still
But no,
am.
I took dance classes. Yeah, from like kindergarten, probably, like sporadically.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I was like, it was the records really that I remember. Just like I was just drawn to them. I didn't even get to see the movie of Annie for a long time because of that scene at the end with the helicopter.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was traumatic.
My parents at the movie rental space, they were always like, no, you can't watch that yet. So I didn't really, it was all like in my imagination, just listening to the music and looking at the, few pictures on the inside of the record cover. And then my brother did Belasco before I did, so I did get to see a few of, Bye Bye Birdie and Annie, because Annie happened multiple times.
Yeah, and it will again.
Yes.
You are. Sure. I think, what was the statistic? It's like you're never less than 3.5 miles away from a production of Annie anywhere in this country. It's like happening near you. You can find it.
That's insane.
Not an incident, but
no.
What was your theatrical endeavor?
I think I also was put in dance. Like I have, pictures of me in like frilly little things and like really bright makeup and whatever. And I think I liked it, but I didn't love it. But I think I was just a ham. For sure. Like I always wanted to be, out in front, like whatever we were doing. Even like on a walk, I had to be out in front. Like I was just like a bold kid. But then also I think my parents were just looking for what is their thing. So I have an older sister, like 3 years older than me. And so we were just put in softball and soccer and piano and whatever these things are. So of like, I don't know what's going to be the thing that sparks them. And so I'd have to ask my parents of like how they found out about Belasco. I'm not sure. But they found it and we were put in. Funny stories of that. And then, I loved it. My sister was also a part of it for a couple of years and it just took off. It's just like you knew quickly that was going to be the thing.
I wanted to get, you kind of just like alluded to this a little bit, which is like that there's funny stories that happen, right? So like when you're first starting in theater, right, we see funny stories, I would say like every 30 seconds in our work as like teachers here.
Right.
What is there like a specific memory or like a story about like an early rehearsal that like became instrumental to you just because it was a lesson you learned very early on?
I have one.
Yeah, go for it.
So, okay, I think he would do this for every new person. So, we're all sitting on the ground at the rehearsal space, which was sometimes in his house or sometimes at like the Vets Hall on Walnut Creek. The one that I'm picturing was in his house. Okay. And he has you get up in front of everyone, and so you're getting up, and all the kids are like talking, and he's like, give her a chance, like trying to get everybody to like quiet down and like listen and
give her a chance.
No, he was just this crazy loud like Italian, I just like bold, super crazy fun dude. Lots of stories there. And so he'd bring you up to the front, in front of everybody, and he'd make you do this thing. And he'd do it for it. And he goes, yeah. And you have to do it after him. And you're like, oh my God, yeah. And he's like, no, do it again. And so until you go massive, huge. And he has you go, I'm the greatest. And then I could, fast as a speeding bullet, pew, pew, pew. And like running across the room and like making a complete fool out of yourself. But the value in it is like once you've done that in front of these people, like, you're not nervous to do anything else. And you also know that everybody went through the same like initiation.
Right. It's like a fully level playing field.
Yeah. But like that's really what it is it like it destroys the nerves. really, you know, in my experience. Yeah, because it's like it's all pent up in your body, and it's like you're given a plate instead of trying to hold it and like pretend they're not there. You get to like express it and get it out of your body, and it's silly, and everybody felt silly when they did it themselves too, and everybody sitting is like cheering for you and like so supportive and like going for it. Like I remember that at the end, you know, so like then you feel welcomed. And
yeah, there's really something to be said about like building the room and like building like the mood in the room first before you start like actively working on like a scene or like this, like making sure everybody knows that they're in a place where if they fuddle a line or like trip and fall, that's almost expected. Like we want it to be messy first.
That's what it's about. Like you have to have that in order to, you know, learn. Right.
And like theater is one of the only places that can happen in a vet hall, a house, a closet. Like like I love the flexibility of that. Yeah.
So
it's
true.
about transforming the space each time. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, so that really like stood out for me big time.
Yeah.
Did you have...
I'm struggling to think of something for that.
And that's okay.
What's the question again?
I had another one that maybe... that
it was
you too.
The question was like, is there a funny memory or like a funny like mistake you might have made early on that like it was something like kind of stuck with you throughout?
When did you ever audition for him? Like, do you remember your first audition for him one-on-one?
I do not.
Oh
I
my
remember
gosh.
the audition process in general.
Okay,
which
that's
was
weird.
Just,
that's fun and weird enough.
You know, he held auditions in his house.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a kind of converted garage that was like, you know, his studio or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, you would show up. He'd usually be like in his robe, like bathrobe with his like gold chili necklace on and his hair like askew.
Incredible.
Hair and
and he'd be like, yeah, come on in, you know, come around back. It sounds awful, you know.
Yeah, like on paper, these are crazy details.
Fantastic. This is like, you know, second father to us.
Such a good.
Yeah, I don't think this is the greatest story, honestly. It's just he would have like his video, you know, the video camera, and you would just go in and sing for him. That's all.
Yeah, I just remember like knocking on the door and seeing a man in a robe and a necklace and like chest hair and like look like he just woke up and like I am not supposed to be here kind of a thing. And it's like, no, there's a camera set up in order to do this, and you know, I think that was my first like connection with Ed one-on-one in a way, you know. It's just like so odd, you know?
But like
but then you're so used to it, and that's like forever, and this is who he is, and like he was a mess, and it was just
he was very much about just like fully being who you are, and if someone doesn't like it, they can just get out, he would say.
Great.
And so he was just completely unapologetically himself, and I guess that was a big lesson that he taught all of us.
For
to
sure.
Be like, just be yourself, even if that means showing up with your hair a mess and wearing your pajamas with egg on the sleeve.
Yeah.
You
know? Or cream cheese on your
yes.
Because you sat in a bagel.
And it sounds like intentional or not, it sounds like another way of like leveling that playing field, right? Like there is this very scary thing of going into like go be judged because you want something.
Right.
And who wants to be judged for wanting something, right? That's like a nightmare. And so you got this, he's like, don't worry, I'm in a robe. Clearly, you're here and more professional than me, so we can like make this happen.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I love that. And we're sort of getting to like, the next question is talking about a teacher that like inspires you. And it really sounds like, I mean, his face is on the front door. You know what I mean? Like he is the thing that,
he was the
it sounds like what, started the company. So like when you are working with teachers, like what are the qualities that you're looking for in your teachers that like are they qualities that he had, are they things that he laid the foundation for that we're building up on? If you just talk a little bit about like what being a teacher means to you because of him.
There are qualities that he had expressed in an extremely different way. So 100%. We have Eddie Belasco, right? We haven't said his first name. Eddie, right? Ed, yes, was just a larger-than-life Italian man, to say the least, and temper, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely wouldn't hold up nowadays.
Yeah, like Yelp World, who would not have survived.
Sure.
Yeah.
The hugest heart, the like thickest skin.
Yeah.
He cared so deeply. That's what makes me get choked up. And what I want in our teachers is to just care so much about the students that they are teaching. He wanted to push us all so very much, and he wanted us to feel capable and not like kids. And he didn't treat us like kids, and he didn't use language like we were kids,
right?
Which is not a quality that we want.
Right, we can't be yet.
But yeah, it felt like we were really on like even playing field in a way with him. It didn't feel like we were ever being talked down to. He definitely yelled at us if we were rapping in the corner too loudly, but it was all so clear that it was because he cared so much about us and about what we were creating together. And I think that's like the most important part of him that we would love to have all of our teachers have. Just really wanting everyone to succeed and feel good about what they're doing.
That's so interesting because we talk so often about like how specifically like theater training and like artistic based classes is like a really delicate balance of like training kids to be professional and also trying to like protect the fact that they are kids and they can't be expected like to be a professional all the time. And I feel like because even like my theatrical stuff was like a little dicey with some teachers, right? So like I feel like we're very much at the forefront of this new wave of like what does that actually look like? And it's nice to have teachers to be able to like reflect back on and be like, here was what was really successful about him. I'll use an example from my life to not put it on him, but like maybe we don't throw a chair inexplicably across the room when like a kid forgets to make an entrance. You know what I mean? Like that's maybe not the best memory in the world for them to have, but when you get those successes from those people, it does feel like that much better.
I'm like everything Jarusha said is like number one is like we felt so adored and loved and appreciated, and that is what we want our students to feel. Whether we're doing theater, whatever we're doing, we want these kids to feel so seen and like safe to be all parts of who they are. And like as we're all growing and changing, they are growing and changing so much in these years. And so to have a place where you feel free to show up however you show up and you're so adored and loved is like just the number one most important thing. And also, I was thinking about it's this balance of like take it seriously but not too much. You know, of like we're doing a show, I expect this to be adult quality acting, like you're capable of this, like I'm not going to treat you like a child, you're not a child, you understand these concepts, even though like some people didn't understand a lot of the concepts as a whole thing, you know, I mean, whatever. 10 years later being like, oh, that's what that line meant, like wow, I had no idea.
All the time.
So, you know, having the quality be high, which is something that we really care about too, is like we are working on a product and we do want it to be excellent, you know, outstanding, as he would say. And also keep in mind, like, we're just a tiny theater company in Danville, California on this spinning planet, and like also like just have fun, and you don't have to take it so seriously. And I think that's life is like care. I just read this in a book. It's probably not. I probably saw it on TikTok.
That's okay.
Okay.
I think we've all collectively decided that like TikTok and reading like are kind of the same conversationally.
And it'd be good for me to like be able to reference it, but I can't. But I could find it. But he said like care, but not too much.
Yeah.
You know, like have pride in yourself, have integrity, but also don't beat yourself up about it. Like, love all parts of yourself, you know?
Yeah, because like all parts of yourself are performing, right? And it sounds like what you guys are talking a lot about is this idea of like you can't give 100% of yourself every day, but you can give, what is it called? Like you can give 100% of whatever percent you have that day. Right, if you have
40% to give, you're giving 100% of what you have.
Exactly.
Your capacity, you know? Yeah, and that's in everything.
Yeah, and that's such a, right, when we talk about this like new wave of education, or like in specifically arts education, I feel like that's like a brand new concept. And and it's so interesting to watch our students like realize it in real time that like, yes, you had a bad test today, so like you can come in with that knowledge and like we're gonna work with you with what you've got, but take your time, right? No one's going to berate you for like stepping out of the room.
And no one thing or no things are like defining your identity. I am a this. I show, it's like, no, we get to change and shift, and our identities don't have to be that.
Well, I mean, it's like
fixed. They're not.
It's the name of the company. It's not that like I am this. It's that I can do this,
right?
Or
it's
I
available
can do
to
that
me,
thing,
and I'm capable.
Yeah. Oh, and like giving students a chance to practice capability.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
right.
Guys. You really goldmine. Way to go, guys. This has been
right?
what a beautiful. I love working here.
And now our very first spotlight teaser with Michaela singing "Dead Mom."
Hey mom, dead mom, I need a little help here. I'm probably talking to myself here, but dead mom, I gotta ask, are you really in the ground? 'Cause I feel you all around me. Are you here, dead mom, dead mom?
Follow the link in this week's episode to hear the entire
song. Not to compound on tear moments. Is there ever like a moment where you were working with a student where you were like, oh my God, I am that teacher for this student right now?
Yeah.
Like, do those moments like happen for you regularly, or is there just like, cool, if you want to, you could just say yes and be like, the answer is yes.
They happen. Yes, they happen. And not like necessarily in specific moments, although there are some, but I feel like after our very first summer, just like at the cast party maybe even, or just hearing seeing how they were behaving together. There was just like so much love between this little cast of 18 kids that just mostly met each other, I don't even remember how many weeks we rehearsed for. 4 to 6 weeks maybe. Yeah. And the age range back then was 8 to 18, and we literally had, maybe up to 16 at that point, or
I think we are.
But they're like giving each other piggyback rides. They're just. It was so clear that same family, community, beautiful feeling that we had growing up was like had already been created just in a quick summer, and us realizing like we were the ones in charge of it happening. We were like we did this. We put on this little show, and hearing some of them. We did some little testimonials or something at the end, and hearing what some of them said about their experience and about us. It was just clear that okay, they're having those same feelings, and we are that Eddie to them. It was just
That's
really
so cool.
amazing. I remember being really surprised that it could happen so quickly.
Right.
Yeah, it really seems like the focus is really on creating opportunity and like letting your ensemble facilitate, because like we've seen it happen time and time again. Like those kids just like come together in ways that you could have never spurred them to be. It just naturally occurs.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's so cool.
And if you just allow, you have that space created, that safe space.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They do love to compliment each other. We have truly some of the most like empathetic, lovely children I've ever met.
I know.
It's kind of magical.
I know.
Right.
So wait, what was the question?
We were talking about like when did you realize you were like that teacher?
It's okay. Everything keeps referring back to chorus line, which is great because what does I Can Do That come from?
Well, it's a chorus line. This was actually somebody's question.
So,
when somebody in Something Rotten for their question they asked, they were like, so what does ICDT stand for? And
oh my gosh.
Like, well, we're going to sing it so many times, don't you worry.
Right,
You're going to know it by the end.
I love it.
I Can Do That, in case anybody was curious.
New to the program.
But yeah, just like about
like as a parent, or as a parent. But yeah, it feels like that sometimes. There are personal moments, where they had a rough day or they had a rough experience, and whether you go into what it is or not, like the content of it, just being the person or one of the people that they can go to and be like held if they want to be held, and have a hug, and take the time to sit down and like really give them your full attention. That I remember that so much from being a kid, like needing that from an adult, to not be looked at as a child, but taken seriously for whatever I was thinking, whatever I was feeling. And I think we're good at that, at like dropping in with them, really. And another thing, like, we need a part of everybody who's a part of our team to like care that much to do that, you know. But then also in terms of like teaching stuff, like we kind of talked about it before, which is like I'll watch them rehearsing and then I'll be like, they have no idea what they're saying. They don't know what that's in reference to. Like, how could they? And so like explaining something and having them be like, oh, like I thought it meant something totally different. And I'm like, that's stuff that I wish that we had in some ways, but like it gives you this depth of understanding the character or the scene or whatever it is. And like, you need that. So I like those aha moments, you know, but also like I didn't pick up choreography well. I would get it, but like you would pick it up super quickly and I would like have to keep working on it just to get it in my head. And so I had all these tricks for myself to remember what the moves were. And so I do it with the kids often. Like one of the first ones, I don't know, it was probably in, I don't know if maybe a second show or something. Pippin for sure, maybe it was in Pippin, but like they have this moment where they like put their hand up and then they like bring it down, right? And so it's like, you know, if you do it like that, like it doesn't have the energy. I want it to be like, you know, full everything, and when it's coming down it has energy too. And so I'm like, it's like you're putting your hand up on the shower and you're like squeeze all the way down, and then that would stick and they'd say it, you know. It was just cool to like, and they'd remember, and you'd see in Morning Glow. I know. Yes. Yeah, so it was Pippin. But then you really see it on stage that like it's now in their bodies. And they have this funny association with it, and like that sticks with you, and that's just like a fun part of it.
Well, again, like you said earlier, like making it a fun thing to do. Like yes, obviously like theater cannot be thrilling all the time, like the most fun choice to make, especially like dramatic work, but like if you can find a way to still make it playful,
enjoyable, and
then you're like, at least the act of play is enjoyable, and now now that opens up a whole other world of like tactics and variety and the actor toolbox and blah blah blah, all the things I tell you in college. So talk a little bit more about ICDT year one.
We rented a space. We rented the Grange
by the hour.
Summer, by the hour. You know, not a sound system. We used like a little speaker, portable speaker. I don't remember. And then after that, we rented from a little art studio for a month. I don't even know. It was very short until we found our very first studio, which Shayna found.
Yeah, so I really wanted us to have a studio, and also because it was becoming work. Like I needed to get work done on the business, and Jarusha was still, you know, teaching preschool, and so I was like, I cannot work on this at home. Like I need space to get away and like focus. But it's not. It happens, but it's not super common that theater companies, especially in a first year, like have your own space. And so that was a conversation of like, it seems excessive, and also how can we know we can even pay for this for a year? And I think our lease was going to be for more than one. I think. And so that was scary, and it was like a $1,400 lease, like you know, month to month, which was like nothing. Now it's like nothing at all, but back then I was like, I don't know if we'll have that in 6 months. I don't know if we'll have the company in 6 months. So it felt like a huge risk. You know,
and we put money into it, and to redo the floors and put mirrors in and paint the whole space, and
make it ours.
And is that sort of when like classes started to happen, or it was just still show at that point?
We needed space for Bye Bye Birdie. We were rehearsing for Bye Bye Birdie. We had started rehearsals. We were holding auditions. That's what we did. That was the first thing we ended up doing that little studio, because we had auditions after they signed up for roles. And because we just couldn't find reliable space, and the little art studio was like about the size of this room, so it wasn't really holding our cast of 35.
That one not work.
But once we got that new studio, we continued for probably the next year just doing shows.
With the same group, 8 to 18.
Just the two of us. And we did our next summer there. And I think it was probably the next fall that we needed to start classes, because we started to have to turn kids away. We just didn't have enough room in our one production.
But we were also like, we can't take on more.
Right.
You know, so that was like our first hire too, was we have a friend, Benny, who we love, who was in Belasco Theater with us, right? And so we were like, well, we want it. We never thought we'd turn a kid away because of space. Like that had never crossed my mind as like a thing that happens, you know? Right. And so here we were with more than 50 kids or whatever signing up. By that time. We couldn't take more, but also neither of us wanted to be teaching more. I wanted to go home to my children, you know, like we have lives. And
you're also teaching.
I was teaching
still
from like
working.
7 a.m. till 3, you know, and 30, and then coming out here and doing this in the afternoon / evening. Yeah.
So we're like, well, what if we offered class like after the rehearsal, you know, for an hour or whatever it is, and like we know Benny's phenomenal, so we were like, okay, and we offered, and it took off, and you know, obviously it did because he was a phenomenal teacher, and but that's really like so much of the company has been built off of this like what if. Well, okay, well, what if we had a class at this time? Okay, well, what if we broke it into 2 age groups? You know, like all like everything has just been like, but it's all from trying to fill the need. We had too many kids coming. We couldn't accept all them in. Therefore, we had to be like cutting for auditions, but we wanted to have a place for them to go.
Great.
So everything was like, oh, well, now we have so many kids that we need to start sectioning ages. It was all like, you know, solving what was flowing in, which is amazing.
Yeah. What was what was the first class? Was it like also musical theater related, or was it just like straight, like, was it Dane?
Possibly. It was, I mean, Benny is acting, improv, like, kind of guy. Nice. So it might have even been an improv class.
I think it was, maybe. Yeah. Or acting related, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Which were like, great, that's supplemental to what we do, which is like, you know, totally
helps. I mean, you got to know how to say words.
Right.
You're going to be, I was just talking today with somebody, and I was like, yeah, you do have to like say the words and say them in rhythm. That's kind of like the 2 things we have to do in musical theater for it to be a musical theater piece.
Right.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to hear like about the things that sound like they stay consistent, right? This idea that like we built a class because we saw a need for it is very much a parallel to like we are trying to like, we see a need in our teachers that they need time for creativity, so let's build that opportunity. It sounds like the crux of what you all do is just consistently building an opportunity for people to be successful. Which is like, how many people can say that?
Well, that's the thing is like, you know, more and more of as we've run the company, I've like, it's in service. Like we're here to serve these kids, we're here to serve these families, and so where they're showing us they want something, if we're capable of delivering it, then I feel not only do I want to and I'm excited to, I feel a responsibility to also, you know. And so they were showing us that they wanted more, and it was the stuff that we love. Amazing.
Yeah, if you build it, they will come. 100% of the time.
It did.
I have a couple of like number stats that I think are really interesting, just in hearing from like where things started to now.
Yeah.
Do you know how many classes it takes for like on average to earn a BA in theater? It's between like 12 and 15. Do you know how many classes ICDT is offering this semester alone, just in the spring?
Okay, I should know this number. I'm probably really off because I was looking at last year. I'm going to say 17. 33.
You are so close. You are so close. It is 32 on the dot.
Okay.
We have 32 classes, which is like 2 college degrees.
Right.
And it's like, which is crazy, right? Because I feel like we're also like, some of us are like freshly out of college, or like all of our teaching happened with like undergraduate students in some capacity. So we're like kind of just doing what we learned in college for like 8 to 11s, which is like, how do we like distill Meisner so that it's also fun and approachable? That's I have these are my other fun ones. I looked up all of these this morning and I was very excited. We don't have a fact checker, so but it feels accurate. Do you know how many Broadway performers are currently performing? Like, do you know how many actors are hired by Broadway currently right now? in this season.
Less than how many students we have.
Fewer.
Fewer.
How many Broadway performers? Oh gosh, I mean, Broadway.
And then name them. No, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna say like 700.
There are currently, like in the last season, there were 1,000 contracts out, and we are actually, I think the total that I read officially was like 837.
Yeah.
And we are 100 over. So we see more kids than there are currently actors on Broadway, which is wild when you think about like the variety of things that those kids are doing in these classes.
Wow.
And there's like stuff that like I don't like I've never seen like the work the playwriting class does, but like I know that they're happening and I get to see them tomorrow. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Like the improvisers came out of the woodwork this semester. We've got like the guitar people, everybody who's doing private voice, like that's not even counting some of like those smaller groups, right? So like technically, it's like a full blown industry.
Wow.
We have a full industry.
Yeah. No, we're like a small school.
Do you think that is the same size, or like in reference to Diablo Vista Middle School? Do you think we have more or less kids than a full middle school? 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Yeah. For the year,
I would say less, but the way you're asking, it sounds like
we have more. We have more kids than like I think when I looked up that was the first one that popped up in the school search, but I'm looking through all the different middle schools. We are 200 to 300 students higher than the majority of middle schools in this area.
Oh my gosh!
Which is like we operate.
And how many parking spaces do we have?
Zero. Not a single parking space. It's thank goodness we have that office building.
The office. We have
There's
multiple.
Did you see they spray painted on that sign?
I know. I saw that.
Yeah.
The little driveway.
The driveway that everybody's clamoring to get into. You should see the traffic that comes in and out of that empty lot.
Right.
It's too much. We have 226 students slated to perform in a show just in the spring. Compared to child actors on Broadway, do you know how much bigger that number is?
Ooh. Okay. 226 is what
we have 220. I counted individually today. Wow. So it's part of my research. I do everything. I do all the research myself.
I love it. I'm gonna say total child actors on Broadway. They're not doing a lot of like kid-centered shows right now.
No, so although the Beaches musical is about to come out, and there are 2 young girls who just got cast as the young versions of the characters, and the video is really sweet, actually.
I love that music. Oh my gosh, I'll lose it. That's like a childhood. I'm gonna say there are 30 or fewer than 30
kids on Broadway.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because your question, I was gonna say like 176.
That's
which was answering how many
child actors
we had or something.
Which is actually pretty close because we have 4 times the amount of like child actors in our program, which makes sense, right? We are a children's theater company.
Yeah.
But like I think a lot of times youth performers get overlooked in professional settings. I don't know, I'm not like super familiar with the way that when professional companies need like a child role filled, how they go about it. But it is crazy to think that like we kind of have this like perfect Rolodex of very talented, very like hungry to perform children who could like at a moment's notice drop into stuff. And that's not to knock the kids who are already working. I know I have like 2 or 3 students who fly back and forth to different places. I'm sure you've got as many students at NYU from last year, kids all over the country, kids who like take what they learned here and then kind of go out into the world.
That's crazy.
This was a question that like I was going to ask later, but it feels like appropriate now. What is something that you hope kids take from ICDT, their time here, as they like move on to that next step, whether it's college, whether it's just like jumping into industry, or whether it's like maybe not even arts related, right? Because oftentimes it's not, and that's okay.
Right. Yeah.
I want them to, whatever they do, carry the like kindness and inclusion and all of that good stuff about just being a good person. in the world that has empathy for others and that shows up for others and that cares if others are, you know, not doing well, and that lends a helping hand. That, I think, number one. And then I think being also just a good, what do I want to say? I want to say like a good worker, but not that. Like showing up and doing your best in whatever you know,
capacity,
do, on a daily, you know, basis.
Yeah.
I love the idea that like, I just want you to be helpful, is like at the tail end of it, is like that so much can be solved if instead of like coming into the day and feeling like you have to get things done, you approach it from a place of like, well, how can I be helpful both to myself and like my team?
Yeah.
And that is like the lesson we are consistently teaching when we're in processes.
Yeah. Your contribution, like a positive contribution.
Yeah.
That's a great way to say it.
And being able to like recognize that like you have the agency to make a positive contribution.
You are worth that.
Yeah. Exactly.
And moving kind of forward, we had talked briefly about like the power of just do it. We're not sponsored by Nike, but like we it keeps coming up that it really is just this muscle of like, I see a need, I know the need needs to be filled. I don't necessarily know the steps, but I can learn.
Yes.
Talk about how you build that both like in your employees and in your students, because obviously like the method has to be different, but the result is ultimately like the same.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's in the can. Right? Of like, it's not like I am doing that or I might be able to do that, but it's like the potential is there if I want to. I think it's in making it more than okay to be human in all parts of yourself. And so that might mean I'm really good at this and I'm really not. Like, I'm not amazing at that. And that's not a loss on me. That doesn't mean anything about me. Like, that can just be the truth. And I also can get amazing at that if I really wanted to, or like later in life or whatever it is. So I think it's a freedom to be where you are and love all parts of who you are. And that it's all about progress. Like, I quote, Tony Robbins is my dude. So, you know, it's really, I feel like the fulfillment in life is like progress. It's like learning and like taking on more understanding and, you know, a bigger vision of the world and a bigger vision of yourself. And so knowing that if you truly want something, you can do it. You can have it. You just need to put the effort towards it and choose that you want it, you know? And so I think, and with the team, it's the same kind of stuff. Like, you know, we didn't know how to take a credit card. We didn't know how to make a website, all those things. But you figure it out. Like, we're capable. We're possible. It's like out there for us to figure out how to make this happen. And along the route, I'm going to burn a ton of hours doing it wrong. And trying a whole thing that like ended up not working, and it wasn't a waste of my time because I learned so much in that process, you know? And so, because I don't want my team to ever feel like I can't make a mistake, or I spent all this time on this thing and it's actually not going to come to fruition. Like, that's part of the journey. That's how this happens. Like, it's like a rehearsal. It's the same kind of thing. Like, we're not just pumping out product. You can't pump out product without exploring. And if we're not exploring, where's the creativity? Right?
You don't
like,
get to practice
I want
the creative
us to
element.
be. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And also it goes back to another phrase that we and I say all the time, which is different people are different. And everything works in that. It's a whole thing. We could do a whole episode on that, but
let's restart.
Right. But that her, you know, strengths in the theater world are totally different than what my strengths are in the theater world. And her strengths in the work world are totally different from mine in the work world, right? And that's why it works. Is because we're all coming with something different. And that goes into the empathy part too, of like, she's having an experience and I might not, I've never experienced that, but I can also take a moment to say, why do I think she's going through that? Why do I think that she's feeling that? You need that as an actor to take on your role, but we need that as humans to be able to connect. And so we are all going to show up differently, and can we still be open and like love all of us where we're at, and for the complexity that we all bring.
That's really, really lovely, because it makes me like immediately reflect on this idea that like I think when I show up in the day, my assumption is that like I am, especially like when you go through actor training, right, you are a product. There's so much emphasis on being a product and showing up as the product at all times.
Right.
To suddenly realize like, no, I'm not in a room of products, I'm in a room of processes, is such an incredibly like liberating thing to work from. That's really,
I like that.
Great, because you said it. So I'm glad I'm really, really happy that you liked it. Do you still have, how often are you in situations now where you are like either having to like convince yourself still that you can like do something, or like find that like workaround, or like see that need and be like, am I the person to fill? Okay, how am I going to fill it? Like how often is that still happening? A lot.
I know, I'm trying to think if that I was like all the time or never. Yeah, I think anytime I start a new show, getting like, you know, into the beginning process again and before the first rehearsal, I think I always have a little bit of the like, can I do this? Do I know what I'm doing? Even though I've done it like 20 plus times by now. Yeah. I have that a little bit, like a little bit of the imposter syndrome. Is that what we're
I mean, kind of, yeah. Like, I think that's something I definitely relate to frequently. Yeah, you walk into a room and everyone's looking at you for every answer humanly possible. And you're like, I wasn't prepared for any of these questions today. Let's see what we can work out. And so, what are the steps, like, that you take to beat it, or is it just a matter of like consistently showing up and working through it?
Yeah, I think that, and just reminding myself that I have done it before, and so that I can do it, and also being like, it's okay if I don't know all the answers right now. A little bit of, you know, the whole what we were just talking about, but like that growth mindset of just you know, if I'm not the best person for it, I'll figure out how to be a good person for it.
Right.
The best version of
that,
you.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and mine, I'd say, is more like I think I'm learning that it's a muscle. And that in the beginning of the company, when we didn't know how to do all of those things, anything, it felt big. Now looking back, it feels small. But it's like you start proving it to yourself. You start having evidence that you're capable, right? Like now we built a whole center, we built a cafe. Like we had no idea, none, what we were getting ourselves into, or what the process was, but we figured it out. And so now I have, you know, more in my life, but like 10 years of proof that I do figure it out and I can figure it out. So I think for me, that doesn't come up a lot for me. What comes up for me is, do I want to? Because I'm like, if I choose to do this, like, I'll do it. I'll figure it out. Like, I'll make it happen. And also the idea of, if I work on it and it goes to nothing, like we were talking about, that's okay. So I don't see that as a failure at all, you know? But do I really want to put my energy in that direction or not? Because if I'm going to put my energy in that direction, it's going to get all of me.
Yeah.
And if it gets all of me, it's done. It's over. It's happening. Right? But yeah, for me, it's the proof part. And something I say all the time is like, I trust future Shayna. You know, like I'm doing my best today with all the resources that I have and don't have. And Shayna in a year from now, Shayna tomorrow, Shayna in 10 years from now is going to be even like have more depth and more understanding, and some views are gonna, you know, shift, and I'm gonna be just as proud of her, if not more, than I am of me now, and she'll figure it out. I'm excited to see what she's able to figure out.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. This is like really beautiful, because there is this like, with the nature of our work, because it is so deadline driven, it's hard to see the like amalgamation of work, and instead of just I made it to that deadline. I made it to that deadline.
Right. And, and I'm also in a very different kind of a position than you two. You guys are working on this kind of a product, and I'm stepping back and working on the organization in a totally different way. So I wonder what my answer would be if I were in, very different roles. Very different, yeah.
And like a huge adjustment to go from like somebody like where initially you were helping out like immensely artistically, and then the need became managerial organizational work, and having to like relearn that communication style it's so different.
Learn it at all.
Yeah, like talking to artists versus talking to like organizational leaders is two vastly different languages.
Truly.
Yeah, and making like theater terms make sense to people who've never set room in a theater is very, very fun.
Right.
We've talked so much that I feel like we're kind of like looping around to some of the same answers. So luckily, we do have some spotlight questions that the students asked.
Oh, cool.
We did already get to one of them, but I know, so many spotlights. We got spotlights all over. The first one is for Jarusha, which was, what was your favorite show to choreograph? / if you didn't want to answer, do you have a dream show to choreograph?
I love that they gave you an hour.
They were like, they're like, just in case she can't pick favorites, we don't want her to like think like a fastest.
Picking favorites is very, very hard.
Yeah.
Because I did not choreograph Chorus Line. We did adapt, all original choreography. That was my favorite show to work on, probably. Just because the show itself is so amazing, and it was a smaller cast, it was older kids, they were all super into it, so it was a very, very focused and intense rehearsal process, and just the material was just so amazing to work on. But actually choreographing, there's so many that were so fun,
and they're so different.
I have numbers, like I loved Crapshooters dance from Guys and Dolls. I was very, very proud of that.
So good.
Music Man had so many fun things to do. Newsies was also really fun recently. Chicago, I was like really excited about, and then the actual process of it was not as enjoyable, but I think that was because I was like, it was my first show back from maternity leave,
gosh,
and I was
that's
literally choreographing as I was like in the middle of the night putting Jocelyn back to sleep, like doing Cell Block Tango.
Legally Blonde.
It's so hard.
Had some great.
Legally Blonde was really fun. I think the difference is there are a lot of shows that I really, really loved the end product, but it did not super enjoy the process of getting there. Choreographing. So I'm trying to think of like what I actually loved, like.
And what I've seen in you is that it's, and maybe, this is just my perception, so I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, but is that I've seen it shift for you too, in that I feel like in the younger years, and there's still this pressure of like, you have to get this done, obviously, and this feeling of like, it's got to be the best or whatever it is. But I've seen over the years, you get to a place where you're like, and I will, like, I'll get it done, and not like putting as much pressure on yourself as I think you used to. And I think like that contributes at least to like not being able to enjoy it in some ways, is like, where's the bar, Yeah. I don't know if that's real for you, but.
Yeah, a little bit of just needing to like outdo myself each time. I think the pressure has come off a little bit in that I just have that proof. It's that whole proof you were talking about of like, I've done it over and over again. I'm always happy with the end product for the most part. And so it will come. But there are definitely days when I'm like, I've got rehearsal in 2 hours and I don't have anything choreographed yet, and I don't know if it's going to come to me or not in this next little, bit of time. And I have a couple meetings before that, there is that pressure for sure.
Yeah.
I do feel like choreographing each number is like birthing a little bit of that process. It always like, once it's out and done, I like feel a sense of relief, and usually feel pretty good about it once I've taught it, especially if I teach it and they're like, this is so fun. That's like the best compliment. It's like, I teach them something and they're like, either like initially they're like, what? Oh my, right? Like some of the taps are like,
true.
And I'm like, you can do this. I know
always
you'll
the
be
tap.
able to do this. And I would not, choreograph this for you if I didn't think you would all be able to do it. And so, that now we're getting into some of the other processes, but I do, cool. Once it's like out of my brain, then I feel usually really,
Yeah, because then it's time to like clean and like make it actable, and I'll like color it in. Yeah. Coloring it in is always like my favorite part of the process. I like explained this to the Something Rotten people yesterday. I was like, we're at like what is my least favorite part of a rehearsal process, which is just like putting like telling people where to move when, and like this is gonna get so much more fun when you guys can color it in yourselves. But we just gotta.
You need the framework.
We gotta do this framework first, and it's hang in there, guys. It's gonna be fun. I promise. For Shayna, they did also ask you a favorite question, which was, what was your favorite ICDT show? Which I think is also an insane question. But a secondary question that was asked that was, what do you hope each ICDT show does? Which is like a big general question. Like, I don't know what, is it like for the kids, for the community, but like whatever that could mean to you.
Yeah. For the favorite, I can do that. It's like, because you're a different person in every show, and these kids are growing up and they're different in every show. Pippin was amazing. I love, but like Little Shop also was so much fun. I love Legally Blonde. Like at the end of Legally Blonde, I was like, if we could do another weekend, I'd be so happy. Like I want to do the lights another weekend, Course line. I mean, the reality is there hasn't been a show that we've done that I haven't been in the booth crying, of like just so proud of them and proud of us, and just that moment of like, is this our life? Like, it's just so beautiful, and to see the joy, it's just, it's just the best. Regarding your second question, okay, which I'm like, this is the thing. I'm like, I need these written down because it's not. Okay. Of like, what do I want it to do?
Yeah, what do you want an ICDT show to do?
I think there's so many directions I could take it, but one is, I love being in an audience and you escape, and you're like really enveloped in the show, and like whatever's going on in your world and your life. To me, it's like almost it's a spiritual, it can be, horror theater can be like, oh my God, get me out here. But when they're amazing, to me, it's like, it's a spiritual thing that like moves me, and you just feel so tied in and so present, and I feel so connected to the characters, and I want our audience to forget that they're kids. And I think they do. I really do. Like, these kids are capable of so much depth and beauty and understanding and brilliance, and it's just fascinating to watch. And often if I go see an adult show, I don't see that same fire in them that I'm seeing in these kids, So I think, really being enveloped in the show, being able to be really, really present, everybody having like this shared experience, which is so cool. And for the kids, I want them to walk away with the, I can do that, of like, and we did it. Like when you're starting, nothing, you know very, very little. And by the end, like, you look at everything that you've learned in this whole process, everything you had to like remember, and it's huge. And a lot of it is joy, I want them to have so much joy. And it's the joy of being in rehearsal and like picking things up and like getting that move finally, and like backstage, in the wings, like playing around with your friends quietly, I hope, Yes.
The shenanigans are like,
oh my God,
they're not for the teacher,
the best.
But every teacher's had shenanigans. Like every teacher's been a shenanigan. You know what I mean?
Well, we used to like
even professional
Yeah. Sure.
Like, we still do it.
Yeah.
Quietly.
I mean, I remember like on stage dancing and we'd turn to face each other and my back is to the audience and I'd be making faces at you, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so fun and joyful, and those memories and that experience just like sticks in your soul, I feel. And what goes along with that is all the connections. It's really the relationships, you know, that made me feel so loved and accepted and seen, and capable, but part of a team. It's not just me. Like, we're doing this. Like, maybe it should be we can do it.
Right.
I have my
We can do that.
All right, rebrand.
Here we go. I know, right?
It's hard to say.
But it is. It's the community of it all, you know? Because when I before we started the company, I would say, I don't know if you felt this, I think we've talked about it, of like, I used to say those were the best years of my life. And in terms of like, in a selfish way, of like, brought me the most joy. And I it's not true anymore. And it's not just because of this company, it's like other parts of my life too, but like, they're going to find so much joy in the experience and in all of these memories, and knowing that like, if you can have it here, you can have it in whatever it is that you're going to create in your life too. Like, you're capable of that kind of fulfillment and joy and connection, and it's really in how you bring yourself into whatever environments, you know, you're in. So yeah, beautiful memories, beautiful friendships, and like seeing how friggin' capable they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, hey, that feels like a first episode, friends.
I love it.
That feels really, really good.
Yay.
I think I'm going to go ahead and... Here we go. Very big deal. All right, we're so synced.
That was great.
That was honestly the most impressive clap I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, we've been training for this our whole lives.
Brilliant work.
Thanks for coming to the show.